Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the JISH Learn English Podcast. I'm Shaylin. Today's episode is going to be very useful for our budget. Has this ever happened to you? You see something you really like in a market or street shop. You pick it up, look at the price, and suddenly think, that's a little expensive. You really want to buy it, but you're also hoping the seller can lower the price a little. In other words, you want to bargain. But to bargain successfully, you need the right English phrases. And that's exactly what we're going to learn today. I'll teach you the most useful English phrases people use while bargaining in real life. I'll explain what they mean, when to use them, and how to use them naturally in real-life situations. All right, let's begin. First, let's understand something very important. In this kind of situation, prices are often not fixed. That means the seller can change the price, and you can also try to request a lower price. This process is called bargaining. Bargaining simply means trying to agree on a price that is fair for both the customer and the seller. But remember this clearly. You don't usually bargain in a supermarket or a department store. In those places, the price is fixed, so you just pay what is written. Bargaining is mostly used in markets, street shops, or small local stores. Now, let's learn those phrases properly and also understand many more useful expressions that you can use in real life. Don't feel overwhelmed, okay? We are going step by step in a very clear structure. First, we will learn what to say when you start the bargaining. This is called opening the negotiation. Then we will move to making an offer, where you tell the seller the price you are willing to pay. After that, we will also learn how sellers usually respond, so you can understand both sides of the conversation. And finally, we will learn what to say when you decide to accept the price or when you decide to walk away. All right, let's begin with the first part. When you want to start bargaining, you don't directly jump into giving a price. That would sound a bit rude or too direct. Instead, you begin politely by showing interest in the product and then gently asking about the price flexibility. For example, you can say, "Is that your best price?" This is a very common phrase. It simply means you are asking the seller if there is any chance of a lower price. You are not demanding anything. You are just opening the conversation politely. Another very useful phrase is, "Can you go any lower?" This means you are checking if the seller can reduce the price a little more. It is short, simple, and very natural in real markets. You can also say, "Could you give me a discount?" Now, the word could is very important here. It makes the sentence soft and polite. A discount means a reduced price, so you are politely asking for a cheaper deal. And sometimes you may also want to express your limit. In that case, you can say, "That's a bit out of my budget. How about—" Now, let's understand budget. Budget means the amount of money you are planning to spend. So when you say something is out of your budget, it means it is more expensive than what you can comfortably pay. For example, you can say, "That's a bit out of my budget. How about $40? This is a very natural way to start bargaining because you are showing both honesty and a possible price. Now, once you open the negotiation, the next step is making an offer. This is when you directly suggest the price you want to pay. For example, you can say, "Would you take 40?" This means you are asking if the seller is willing to accept your price. Or you can say, "How about 35?" This is a very simple and natural way to make an offer. It is used everywhere in the world in bargaining situations. Sometimes people also say, "I'll give you 30 for it." This sounds a little more direct, but still common in markets. It shows confidence in your offer. And another very useful expression is, "What if I buy two? Can you do a better price?" This is important because in real life, buying more often gives you more bargaining power, so you are asking for a better deal based on quantity. Now, while you are making offers, it is also very important to understand the seller's responses, because bargaining is a two-sided conversation. Sometimes the seller will say, "The price is fixed, I'm afraid." This means there is no flexibility. The price cannot be changed. Sometimes you may hear, "For you, I can do 45." This is actually a friendly response. It means the seller is giving you a small discount because they want to sell it to you. Another common response is, "That's as low as I can go." This means the seller has reached their final price. They cannot reduce it further. You might also hear a playful expression like, "I'm giving it away at that price." This does not mean it's free. It just means the seller feels the price is already very low. And sometimes both sides try to find a middle point. In that case, the seller may say, "Let's meet in the middle, say 45." This is very common in real bargaining situations when both people want to agree quickly. Now, finally, let's talk about what happens at the end of the bargaining. You either accept the price or you decide not to buy. If you accept, you can simply say, "Deal, I'll take it." Or, "Okay, let's do 45. These are very natural ways to confirm the purchase. But if you don't agree, you should still be polite. You can say, "Sorry, it's still too much, maybe next time." Or you can say, "I'll think about it." Now, this last phrase is very interesting. In real markets, when people say, "I'll think about it," and start walking away, sometimes the seller calls them back and offers a lower price. So it is not just language, it is also a strategy. And that's why bargaining is not only about money, it's about communication, confidence, and using the right English phrases at the right moment. So today, we learned how to bargain politely in English using simple and natural phrases. We learned how to start a negotiation, how to make an offer, how sellers usually respond, and how to either accept the price or walk away. These phrases will help you feel more confident in real market situations. Now, here's a simple question for you. If you were in a market, would you try to bargain for a lower price or just buy it at the first price? Tell me in the comments. I would love to read your answers. If you enjoyed this lesson, please like the video and subscribe to the JISH Learn English podcast. I'm Shaylin. See you all in the next episode. Bye-bye.